what in the fuck? What in the hell? I mean, I heard of the Illuminati, I heard of sacrificial ceremonies, I heard of all of it. And to be honest, I guess I believed it somewhat. After this video, after this scene, I'm like, peace, love, and life. It's a Goddess Sneak Night. This is the Blackest Truth, where I take the not so easy topic of racism, white supremacy, break it down and make it easier for us to maneuver through. I just want to kick off this video with saying thank you so much for helping me reach 20K. As promised, I had already let you all know once we hit that milestone that I was going to do something, and that is this video right here. We're kicking off a new dissection series, starting off with the dissection and breakdown of this video in particular. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and also hit that notification bell so you can get more content like this. We also want to take the time at the Blackest Truth to send our condolences to the family and also say rest in power to the now ancestor Takeoff. Be sure to pour libation today, celebrating the king. Throughout this video, there are a couple of things that I did not catch and I was totally misunderstood on. So anywhere you see a green check mark, what I want you all to do is leave your opinion down below. Tell me which you decode or understand that to be. Number one, just right when the video comes on, you see this screen where you have Quavo and you have Takeoff, and Takeoff is in all black. He's already like in his sleep-like position. What is the cousin to death? Sleep. Now keep in mind, the rapper Takeoff did often wear black. That wasn't anything uncommon. However, that initial screen where we see he takes off his sunglasses and then he calls Take's name twice in order to wake him up, we see the whole death dynamic. One is awake while one is asleep. Now I want you also to catch second thing, number two. Notice the outfits that they have on. Like I just mentioned, Takeoff is wearing black. However, look at what Quavo is wearing. He has on this striped shirt, black from Takeoff's outfit, death, the black element, the red element for blood and or sacrifice, and then the white element, because you always got to remember who is not too far behind, who is always the mastermind at this confusion and deviation deception game. Keep in mind, in this first scene, you have both of them in glasses. One takes off his glasses, glasses being veil, misunderstanding. Not anything uncommon for their wardrobe, however, taken into the element of the video. Taking off glasses means that you're taking off a veil, you're taking off misunderstanding, you're taking off some form of unawareness. You're not seeing the same. Third subtle message, and this was a subtle one. On the thumbnail, when you're looking at the YouTube video, the video shows that it is 3 minutes and 34 seconds. However, when you click on the video to watch it, it is 3 minutes and 33 seconds. If you know anything about the number 3, the number of sacrifice, the Trinity, things that are happening in threes, you should pay attention to. Things that are more so considered serious. So when I saw that, I said, it was another moment where I clutched my pearls, but we're about to get so much more deeper than that. Fourth subliminal. After he finally gets Takeoff to wake up, he mentions that he just had a dream about some messy shit. Once he mentions that, finally Takeoff removes his glasses, kind of looks around, and he seems more disoriented than his uncle. And he immediately puts back on his glasses, still not seeing the same, and then he says, let's get out of here. Now, one thing I was curious about, if he said let's get out of here, why they would go back to sleep. I was so curious about that. Fifth thing, the beginning screen where they are now in the house. If you can see on Takeoff's side, there is a skeleton behind him. Outside of this already being Halloween, we clearly see from the components and the different things that are in the screen, we can see this is Halloween night, or this might even be a haunted house. And I will gather that it might not be a coincidence that that is also the night that they went out in Houston. Outside of that, you have the skulls, predominantly known for death. However, this symbol also has a dual meaning. It also represents something else. total racist white supremacist hallmark. White nationalism is riddled with skeletons. White supremacist organizations that like to wear skulls, especially when they have taken a life of a black person or a person of color in general. If you know the history of African people, then you would know that the skulls come directly out of Africa. However, that's another video for another day. Just keep in mind, for this video, we are going to see lots of skulls moving forward, and that is our 5th subliminal. Next subliminal, right in this very scene, behind Takeoff is a bat. Oh my gosh, when I looked up what a bat was, initiation, new beginnings, I said, oh my goodness. Like literally, I started, like my heart started pounding. I was like, oh my goodness. The bat behind Takeoff, the skeleton behind him. Also, there's a small image of a devil as he walks off. And notice he walks off, he puts his hands up, and what is hanging from the ceiling? A bat. This is already alluding to some form of death or sacrifice around him. As we move out of this scene, we see the other brother in the front is thinking about letting his chick in. Takeoff says no, he walks around the corner. And then we immediately get into our 6th subliminal. These two boys arguing. Peep this entire scene. Not only is the boy in the green have this chain that he's holding up, and it has 2 letters on it. He has kind of like this hand where he's doing this, like pay up, give me some money. The boy in the red is like protesting or arguing. It's like they're having some form of conflict. But look at the kids around them. Look at the children. If you pay attention to the first girl in the frame moving her head, she's kind of like nodding her head disagreeably. The second boy has his mouth covered, as in speak no evil, and in his lap he has some money. The second girl, if you can look at her, she has her eyes covered, as in see no evil, and then the last boy in the frame kind of has his hand in his face, which I'm imagining where this meant to be hear no evil. So you see all of those elements as you span across this very scene. And then lastly, in this very same room, the 7th subliminal, Takeoff is standing next to a headless man, and if you pay attention to the skeleton that is kind of like parallels to him, their feet are similar. Child, when I saw this scene, I was like, was this supposed to be subliminal? Was this supposed to be hidden? And it gets worse. It gets worse. Next, he continues to walk throughout the house, and now we see this couple that is conflicting in the hallway. He passes them right along, and then we go into our next subliminal, number 8. We see a conflict with gambling. Now, if you all recall, the night that he was killed, they were allegedly playing in a dice game. We do not see dice here, however we see cards. We see the gambling element. Conflict, arguing at a table, there being an issue. It was given something, and I was just kind of like, whoa. That's not the biggest thing of this scene though. The biggest thing of this scene for me is if you look on the wall, there is a European founding father with his hand out. Where this random ass white man came from, I do not know. Why he got this random ass poor hand out, it is beyond me. However, it's giving the element of take. I'm always looking, I'm always here, and I always got my hand out, as in pay up. And if you pay attention to that same man who was contemplating letting the girl in the house in the front, in the very beginning of the video, he's now on the piano, and there's this random skeleton hand, or these 2 hands that are now centered, and we go into our next scene. Be sure to head to theblackesttruth.com and sign up for the email newsletters to get notified of all content that I plan on dropping, all of the videos that I'll be dissecting and decoding in this series. If you want to be notified prior to YouTube, head over to theblackesttruth.com. I'm excited to hear from you. 10th thing that shook me, as I was just mentioning, you had these 2 hands that were reaching out. The next scene, which is the 10th subliminal, in this scene, Takeoff is sitting on the edge of the couch, and there's these 2 empty chairs. Pay attention to the empty chairs right here, and also pay attention to his lyrics. He's rapping about having a game tatted on him, how it's forever. To be honest, this scene is kind of like mocking him, because not only are the 2 seats empty, meaning the gang is clearly not here, there's a skeleton, again hitting on that element of skeleton, in the middle chair, and then on the opposing chair, or the furthest chair away, there's like this symbol made out of bones. In that middle seat, there is a small devil beside that chair. Before leaving this 10th element, we see our 11th subliminal. In the window, there is a ghost rider. When I saw this ghost rider, I had to pause the video. I said, what? The same ghost rider who sold his soul to the devil? I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And that's not even the worst part. I went to Instagram. Look at this Halloween costume of his uncle. What are we to think? What am I to think? What exactly are we to make up of all of this? I was just like, 12th thing that we can see is the conflict. It's conflict all around him. However, he's not engaging in it. He's just an onlooker or a bystander of it all. This doesn't really allude to the death element of it or the sacrificial element to it. I think it rather alludes to life circumstances. And to me, it makes me think that something about this video is very personal. All of the familial elements. It was more than a traditional video would bring to the table. Butt shaking and different things like that. Next subliminal is this bat again. When he walks into this next room, there's kind of like something hanging or dangling over his face or over his head. He splits in this screen, but as he walks out of this room, it is a bat and a moon. He walks straight through it. I clutch my pearls. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, is this supposed to be subliminal? Is this supposed to be a subliminal video? This ain't subliminal. And even as he leaves, there is just an element of, again, these personal items. Not only these elements that you would collect in a home, things that happen in homes. Conflict happens in homes. You can see this older woman screaming at these children, basically wanting them to eat. What are they doing? They're having a food fight. They're not paying attention. They're not eating. And there's this uncut pie. Question mark. There was 2 pies in a matter of like 10 seconds in that scene. Both of them were uncut and they had not been consumed. So y'all let me know what you think. Going out of this scene, Takeoff goes upstairs and there's a host of bats that are on the wall. Again, initiation, new beginnings, death, and he goes upstairs. And what do we refer to the upper room as? Going upstairs or going to the ancestral realm. Now this is where it gets crazier. It is now Quavo's scene. We see him laying on a bed. The bed is rocking, it is shaking, and the next subliminal is this gun pointing towards this Migos contract. In this scene, you also see lots of red, passion, danger, sacrifice. She is wearing red. There's even red on the wall, picking up on the wall where Takeoff was walking into that dining room. Even the wallpaper is alluding to the future of this young man. And I noticed this entire scene, he just looks like he's frustrated and he looks betrayed. It's so much emotion that is translating from him in this scene. The gun pointing at the contract is just one thing. Look at his pants. His pants have hands on them. The bed shaking and he also being in the bed makes me feel like whatever betrayal happened here, and if you look in this scene, you can actually see a woman in the bed with the man. It makes me think whatever element of betrayal here, and he's also rapping to it, it happened in his bed and he might have witnessed it or his nephew witnessed it. Because our next subliminal in this very scene we see is what? Takeoff is watching the whole thing with a rest in peace sign beside his head. What in the is going on? That's exactly what I thought when I watched it. What in the hell? I mean, I heard of the Illuminati, I heard of sacrificial ceremonies, I heard of all of it. And to be honest, I guess I believed it somewhat. I just didn't care to explore just because I got a lot on my plate already and I just didn't have the time. I really just didn't have the time. After this video, after this scene, I'm like, our next subliminal is this elevator scene. If anybody remembers the elevator argument / fight between the rapper and his ex-girlfriend, this definitely hits on that, which also lets us know that the feelings that he had were strong. They're even being expressed on this camera. You can tell there was an element of betrayal in his lyrics. There's an element of betrayal. There's a look of betrayal on his face. And I even wonder while watching a video if that element of betrayal that he felt had anything to do with a girl that couldn't get inside the house. I was wondering if those two things had anything to do with one another. But before we head out of this scene, did you all read what was actually on that box? Huncho Call of Duty Black Ops. If you are enjoying this dissection, be sure to look down in the comments below where I have left you my playlist of all of my other dissections. I'm talking about Self-Made, Ma Rainey, Queen and Slim. I have a host of other dissections if you want to watch them. Check down in the comments and the description below. The next subliminal, which probably shook me the most, for 17 was them walking through this door. Here, Quavo now has matching tops and bottoms, fully hand stained. And if you can see, he wipes his hands. Like blood on hands. I said, oh my God, oh my God. The matching hands, top and bottom, walking through the door, fully integrated, fully transformed. We also see here, Takeoff, he has on a solid shirt and he seems a lot more aware. He's kind of like leading this scene. As I was just mentioning, 18th subliminal. Pay attention to Takeoff's outfit here. It's very faint. However, if you look closely, you'll see there is a face in his shirt. Not only is there a face in his shirt, the eyes are closed. And if you look at the left hand side of the neck, there seems to be some type of trauma or some type of wound there. And I think the night that he was killed, he was shot in the neck. Not sure if it was the left side. However, when I saw that in his shirt and it even looked like the face was in the middle of a hallway, I just said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. If you look around his neck, there are two Jesus pieces, Jesus sacrifice. I did look throughout his social media and notice that it was not uncommon for him to wear these two Jesus pieces. However, I did not originally see this prior to maybe about 6 months or about a year ago. Who's to say? I'm just showing y'all what I seen in this dissection and decoding. I was not just like a listener of the music. Like, I have no album, so I don't want to perpetrate like I was just like this huge fan. To be honest, I was so shocked when I found out that this happened in Houston, of all places. So unlike the city, so unlike the Southern hospitality that you experience in the city. I just wanted to know more about what happened. And when I watched this video, Messy, that's when so much popped out to me, and that's why I wanted to do the video. I did notice while looking on social media though, the bat was an element that wasn't uncommon to his wardrobe. Black was an element that wasn't uncommon to his wardrobe. Wearing sunglasses, even skeletons, and wearing jackets, wearing clothing that are associated with skeletons wasn't uncommon. When I came across this photo right here though, it was heartbreaking. 19th subliminal, as they are walking out of the house, we see all of the conflict kind of plays out. Takeoff is leading the scene. He's aware all throughout, walking through the hallway. You can see Quavo is in the back and he's kind of in a daze. He doesn't really understand what's happening. You can tell he's not as aware or as confident in what all is transpiring around him as perhaps Takeoff is in this scene. 20th thing is, before they walk through the last doorway before exiting the house, Quavo kind of like looks up. When he looks up, there's nothing there. Immediately after walking out of that passway, you see a skeleton right above his head. And I took that as he prematurely looked up, so by the time we looked up, we would actually see him walking under the skull head. That right there was super spooky. And the last subliminal, I'm not sure, maybe y'all can help me out on this. The green and blue elements all throughout the video. This green alien mask, this green dinosaur, this blue flower, this blue pumpkin, these elements of blue and green that were all around the video that really were just kind of like hyper pigmented. It really did stand out to me, and I do think it means something. I just haven't figured it all out yet. And it wouldn't be right if I didn't give y'all a bonus. So if you are still here right now, before walking out of the house, Takeoff asks Quavo, like he points at himself as to ask him a question. And Quavo kind of just like shrugs his shoulders like, I'm not sure. And I just thought to myself like, oh my gosh, like was that a part in the video where he was asking, like he saw exactly what it was and he was just kind of like asking like, am I tripping or did I just see what I thought I saw? I don't even want to say it because hey, We ain't speaking nothing negative over here, okay? It is the Goddess Sneak Night. This is the Blackest Truth. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, subscribe to this channel, and also join this community. Tell me down below what all you all saw. I know I did not get everything, and maybe you all can help me out, all right? Until next time, I'll see you all. Mwah. Peace.